Hey guys, it's Paradise, and after months of waiting, we finally got a new and proper look at Soulframe, Digital Extreme's new fantasy RPG, and it's starting to take shape. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the new gameplay that has dropped, impressions from the preview access, and the new combat system that's definitely raising some eyebrows, both for good and not so good reasons. So whether you've been curious since the first cinematic reveal, or you're just hearing about it for the first time now, we're going to break down exactly what Soulframe is, what was revealed during TennoCon 2025, and most importantly, what players who have experienced hands-on time are saying about it so far. There's a bit to unpack here, and some of it's not as you might expect, so let's get into it. And if you haven't been following Digital Extreme, you might be wondering what Soulframe is. Well, it's the next big and upcoming title from Digital Extremes, the team behind Warframe that you've probably heard of, and while it shares the same spiritual DNA as its sci-fi sibling, this one is actually heading in a very different direction. It's going to be a free-to-play, action-focused MMORPG or MMO Light, set in a dreamlike fantasy world inspired by myth and nature. Think Celtic folklore meets surrealism. You play as an envoy trying to restore balance in a world corrupted by industrial forces by using swordplay, magic, and a companion system that ties into the game's narrative. They describe it as being heavily influenced by the themes of nature, restoration, and exploration. They say Soulframe promises an independent and uniquely immersive experience led by the minds behind Warframe. The development did kick off publicly back in 2022, and instead of hiding everything behind closed doors, Digital Extreme have taken a more transparent approach, releasing Preludes, which are early playable builds that some fans have already been trying out. Think of it as sort of test phases or snippets of an early alpha build. We'll talk more about those later, but the big thing to know is that this isn't just Warframe in the woods, it's a much more slower and more grounded game that's aiming for something more in the Souls-like space while still being online and persistent. So let's talk about what they've showed off at TennoCon, because the new dev stream gave us the best look yet on how Soulframe actually plays and feels. In the dev stream, the devs talked about trying to create goosebump moments, those more quiet, emotional beats that really stick with you, which is a clear contrast from Warframe's fast and flashy combat loop, and they say Soulframe is going to feel deeper, more intentional and atmospheric. They also say the design choices and overall approach to the game is unlike others, and interestingly, when they say unlike others, it seems they include Warframe in this as well. From the way the world unfolds to how you interact with objects and the environment, Soulframe isn't trying to just copy and paste the usual MMO design. It's clear that it's slow-paced, story-heavy, and is trying to be a lot more experimental with its systems. The shift from Warframe's fast and chaotic mobility to this slower, more methodical combat style is intentional, and the devs seem to be chasing something a bit more similar to Elden Ring with a blend of magic and melee. But it is going to be a hard balance to strike, especially with Warframe being their previous game, which again is very different to this one. It's not entirely clear from watching the gameplay just how the combat works, how it progresses over time as you get stronger, and the extent of our character's power. But from the various fights in the gameplay itself, it looks very cool if you're into those slower-paced RPG combat systems, which I am, and it's got me intrigued. Some fans watching the stream have validly pointed out the animations do feel a bit robotic or floaty, and the character aesthetics aren't winning everyone over just yet. Some areas of the animations definitely need a bit of work, but there's no denying that the Witch Verminia character is extremely well voice acted, animated, and has some good personality. She's literally a standout character in this entire stream, and personally I think they've done a great job with the Witch. She is unique and definitely adds a lot to the immersion. The playable characters' animations, however, throughout the gameplay do look a bit robotic and they are a bit floaty at times, so a bit more polish there would go a long way. The visuals and art direction though do seem to be pretty good from what we've seen. From the vibrant landscapes to the general progression of the visuals throughout the different developer reveals, it seems to be heading in the right direction in this regard. Many love the tone and overall setting, calling it a dreamlike Celtic fairy tale. This could be one of the game's strongest selling points, to be honest, giving it a standout aesthetic and a more immersive world, which are all things that stand out in some of my favorite games, so this is ticking some boxes here for me. Various parts of the gameplay did also show off some very cool looking areas. From just traveling through the world to fighting bosses, it does look captivating, and it's something I want to dive into. The boss fight against the giant three-headed, almost Cerberus-style bear had me intrigued, and you won't believe what happens during and after the fight. So instead of explaining it, I'm simply going to let you watch it, because this part gets pretty wild and you need to check it out. It shows how crazy the game is going to be in a good way. So how does it actually feel to play? Well, that's where the previously mentioned Prelude tests come in. Players who signed up on their website either got access or used codes from the dev stream to get into these early access Prelude builds, and the feedback is a little bit mixed. This is of course understandable, as it's a very early look at the game in different slices. But this whole testing and feedback phase is very important as Soulframe goes through the motions of forming into a proper game. The user Mako Ru on Reddit said it feels pretty janky at the moment, like an odd mix of Dark Souls and Warframe. You just get booted in the ass into this weird dreamlike world. Meanwhile, user The Soulseer says combat feels janky and floaty and the map is pretty empty. So from the looks of it, there's a clear learning curve to the combat and it needs a bit more polish, but people might be struggling with the onboarding, which again makes sense as this isn't exactly a polished tutorial for players, and the UI in the game is pretty minimal. Other testers commented on the abilities and stats not being clear or explained in what they do and impact, so currently much of the community are asking for better tooltips, clearer UI, and an actual tutorial, or at least something so it doesn't feel like you're dropped in the deep end. That said, the development has been moving along, and others are commenting on how there's been huge improvements, new systems, additional characters, stories, and gameplay additions for those who have played over time in different Preludes. So people that have been part of multiple of these Prelude tests say it is evolving fast, and while it's not there yet, the foundation is starting to feel more solid. Furthermore, there is a little bit of distrust to point out with the Warframe community due to how long Warframe's own beta period was and some of the live service quirks. So transparency and polish are high on the wish list for the community, so we would love to see that going forwards. Now, there's no denying that Soulframe is trying to be something different, and for me, I'm actually really excited for this. But for now, the best way to describe it is that it has a lot of potential, and it really could go either way. But from the progression of the Preludes and this new gameplay reveal, it certainly is looking very cool and promising. The world is beautiful, the tone is interesting, and the devs at the very least are being more transparent and seem to care. But the game's systems, its movement, and moment-to-moment gameplay does need a bit more time in the oven, and to be honest, I think they know that. If you're someone that loves being part of that early stage journey, these Preludes might be your thing if you can get access. But if you're after a polished, ready-to-go fantasy experience, it's obviously not quite there yet. We don't have a clear picture on how the MMO side of things will be implemented either, but many are speculating on more MMO-light style elements instead of a full-blown MMORPG. Either way, I'm going to be keeping my eyes on this one, and will update you as and when any more information comes out. But I would love to know, are you intrigued or skeptical, and did any of you get into the Prelude tests, and what do you think? Tell me below, and if you haven't seen the new Prelude gameplay, I really encourage you to check it out, even though it is a little long. But I have it here for your convenience if you want to give it a watch.
What? What did you see? Ma grand-mère always praised my gift to interpret such vagaries before they weighed her down. Yes, you fear the beast within. Unknown, untamed, ugly. What? Such visions do not lie. It is worse than I thought. Forgive me, envoy. This sap dream is no oracle of your many inadequacies, but a vision of your violent future. Sounds delicious, no? Allons-y. To Weathered Wood. Took you long enough. If your fate is to battle this wretched beast, my puppets will be glad to guide you. Oh no, 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 no. An envoy's mind is simple. More than one guide would be... Unless... a floppet. Flap, flap, floppet. To Weathered we go! Sproutfolk, they are cursed. Even more than usual.
Wish, stuck, silent now, but for the wind. The sap of elder voicing trees, once granted drinkers future dreams. With none his own, no cub nor home, he raised them, their bearer, Bromius.
Shield dreams in stirfus. Mine.
This putrid hand. I smell a medicant. My puppets know well his wastes. Such wretched odor. Oh, my poor nose. This Odin sludge seeps deep, you know, rousing bodies best left buried. We are close.
A word faking. What have Preludes, corpses, bears, and seeds in common? Hmm? All are rotting beneath your feet. My wastelings! Alosh! Ah! All will come mendicant in time.
Mendicant wraith, leave our seed to the living.
Ah, you misspeak, witch. Words have power. He lives now, my precious seed. Reborn, mendicant. We rotted things have much in common. Our tongue, whoosh. Our thirst, still. Surrender. No. What said I of rotted things? Shed tongues, shed blood, shed legs. Dead do not die. Blood whistling.
This spoiled soil will turn you mendicant once more. We must go below, face the rot at its roots.
Let's add a little co-op to this for this next section.
The beast. Sap smoke on his breath, no less. Fly deeper. Better. barely. But our little seed needs the finest of soil. Allez, allez!
Wanting more than I have, every inch of land that I bleed, that I feed for them, that is mine. Mine. You gruel, too feckless to kiss your lord's feet, when he brings you peace, bloody sanity to your knotted woods and piss-washed rocks. When he stands in your presence. That's better. Better to listen. We are a family, are we not? Now give me the Empress, you blue-bloody bitch of a thing.
that will repay our debt. Granting sign and turn you nurture. We bear seeds for you that show the future.
With the song of growth we start again. A seed. Everywhere, a seed.
Speak sad people that live your dream. Come shepherds, hear our voice and lead. God forests are planting trees.
Encore, Ego, encore.
Old friend. I've plenty new lives to tend. This wise elm be yours to fend. By the pact, our bearer.
Here at Arix Gaming, we're two friends who love to play games. You have me, Paradise, as well as 2-6.
Our goal is to keep the videos as concise as possible by cutting out any of the fluff and focusing on what really matters with high quality videos.
So make sure you're subscribed down below for more videos on your favourite games coming very, very soon.